The following podcast is recommended for mature audiences only. The following podcast is recommended for adults only. Maturity is not a requirement.
Hello and welcome to Dear Download, a podcast about Download Festival, music and the industry, and all other aspects related to rock and heavy metal. This episode we are talking about every single band that's playing on the Friday at Download this year, 2025. So far, previous years, they've added some other bands after this, but I think they're done. I think they've announced everything, but we don't know. But anyway, I'm Adam, and I'm here with Simon. How are you doing, my man?
Hello, and good day to you, sir. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm good. Excellent. Well, yeah, as I just said, we've got a lot to talk about today. But before that, we have a lot to talk about as well. I've got a massive list of things that I don't want to skip over because they're important, like your first gig.
Yes, a very good first gig, I would say. Packed room, finished second, Metal to the Masses.
Oh, did you?
Missed out by 1 point.
Oh, that's so annoying.
One vote, and we got. I think we got 3 out of the 5 votes of the judges as well. So
yeah,
we done really well. I don't think anyone actually knew that it was our first show. So
yeah,
apart from you lot, we didn't tell anyone that it was our first show. So I think they just assumed that we've played shows before, but. Yeah, really good for it. I'm a bad loser, so I was really annoyed. And I went into the chat the other day and called all the rest of the band losers, but they've got over that now. But we're still in a spot for a wildcard position, so there could actually still be a chance that we would get to the final if there isn't a second place that gets more votes and more judged than us, then we may be in with a chance of getting in for wildcard. Nice. So, yeah, cool. There could still be a possibility of us playing. But no, fantastic, really good. We got it under our belts now. I actually have a band announcement as well. I said at the show that we would be releasing a track. We have a track coming out this month, 25th, Friday the 25th of April. Hope is Damned. Our first track will be released. It was originally supposed to be a demo, but we thought it was so good. We were like, we're just going to put it out. So it's about 60% of what we're actually capable of. But we liked it so much, we thought we're just going to stick this out there. And then we're going to go into the studio very shortly to work on the second track. So we are ramping it up pretty quickly. So I think by the summertime, probably by, I don't know, July, maybe June, July, we'll have a second track out as well. So yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was very good. And I really liked the song that you're putting out, because you said at the show, we've been in the recording studio recording this one.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's actually a pretty good song. It was awesome.
Thanks.
Really, really good. And it was cool to see Chids and Stu there as well.
Yes.
I unfortunately had to drive back that night, so I worked the next morning. But if I was drinking, I definitely would have been in a drunken state telling you guys how much I loved you and how awesome it was that we had all met up for this as well. Yeah, Chids drove for like 3.5 hours, was it?
Oh, yeah, he drove through for 3.5 hours. He stayed, which is good, so we got a little bit tipsy afterwards, which was awesome. But I think Chids was surprised. He was like, dude, you can sing. And obviously, since I've known all of you lot, you guys have never seen me sing in a band before, so I think some people were quite surprised. I wasn't just making it up that I could sing. So I think most of you are like, this guy says he can sing, but I've actually never seen any evidence that he can actually sing. But no, I can hold a tune, at least. So yeah.
And you're a great frontman as well.
I
know I said to you after, like, do you give it that much? So like, I was a bit surprised, not just at the fact that you could sing. I assumed you could. Sorry, you have to excuse me. I'm pretty sure I'm coming down with something. And I've got a lot of reading to do tonight as well. So at some points my voice might go.
Okay, that's cool.
But I said to you, like, I wasn't surprised that you could sing. But like, you were down on the floor singing, walking around as well. And I said to you, did you go that hard in in practice? Did the band members sort of know you were going to do that as well?
Yeah, kind of. I think it was Chids that said to me, do you was it you or Chids that said this to me? I can't remember. Someone said you act like you've done a line of coke.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't say that.
That was, I think that might have been It was Chids or Stu. I can't remember who said it to me. They were like, yeah, you literally act like, because you're all like pumped up and sort of jittery. They were like, you look like you've just done a line of coke and then gone on stage. I was like, it feels like you've done a line of coke when you're on stage, because you've got the same sort of adrenaline rush that you would get from a drug. But no, I definitely did not do any coke before I went on stage.
Awesome. Yeah, but it was so good. And, I was trying to listen to it. I was trying to listen to it properly. And so your first song, I don't know if you were questioning it or where I had gone. But yeah, I was right at the front for the first song. And I was like, right, I want to stand in the sweet spot, the equilateral triangle between the two speakers. I listened to it really well. So I went back a little bit, and I couldn't quite get to where I wanted to be. So I was just left of that sweet spot. And a little bit went past, and I was like, the speakers are turned inwards a little bit. That means that that sweet spot will be forward a little bit more. And I was like, there's a bloke stood in my spot. I want to be there. Now there's a bloke there. He was in the exactly perfect spot to hear it.
I like that. That is great.
That was very
just go and stand in that perfect little. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, honestly, thanks for coming, and to everyone, all the online support, all the people that followed the page. It's awesome. It's just the beginning, but yeah, it was really cool to all the support from people. So yeah, thanks. But yeah, enough about me. What about you? What's been cracking?
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm just going back to we got to get going. But yeah, I'm pretty sure here, the Metal to the Masses, there's 4 heats and 2 go through from each heat. And then it's 2 semi-finals and then a final. So I was surprised that didn't work.
Yeah, here it's 4 rounds, 1 from each, 1 wild card.
Okay.
Maybe there's not a bigger pool of bands, but if you see a lot of the Metal to the Masses are struggling to get bands. I know people that are playing in bands that aren't even playing in their areas. So but in Gloucestershire we have a very tight knit. There might not be as many bands as you get in like Brighton or other places, but we have a amazing metal scene in Gloucestershire. So it's always tight and it's always sort of the similar bands, but they're all fucking awesome. The quality of bands local here is like this. I'm looking at other heats in other places and listening to the bands. I'm thinking, I wish we had them, because our heat was not easy at all. So yeah.
No, and it was Avira that won it, wasn't it? And
it was, yeah.
I think Stu messaged me, and so I had listened to them, and I think they've been going since like 2018, 2017 by the looks of it. And I said,
they've got a big following, yeah.
Yeah, I said to Kelly at the time, like, I would be annoyed if I was them and a band who was playing their first gig beat us at Metal to the Masses. So maybe that's fair.
I think maybe there should be a limit on how big your fan base is, because they've got like 10,000 followers just on Instagram.
Okay.
Like, with 10,000 followers just on Instagram, you might actually be able to just get on Bloodstock.
Yeah,
I'm not sure you need to go through the Metal to the Masses route. So that's the only bit about it I felt was a bit unfair, because they are a pretty well-established band.
Yeah,
everyone else is quite small. So
okay,
yeah. But they were good. So yeah, fair play to them.
Yeah, cool. Moving on, we have sent out all of the Patreon shirts. Last time we spoke, I hadn't even received them yet. I think I got them the day after, and I got them sent out, and they're absolutely stunning, aren't they?
Oh, beautiful! As soon as I saw it, I just put it straight on. I was like, "This shirt is unbelievable." So yeah, I loved it, and I was at practice wearing it, and I showed the guys in the band, and they were like, "That design's so sick, dude." I'm like, "Yeah, it's awesome."
Yeah, it's so good. So yeah, that was the 2024 Patreon support shirt. Again, we appreciate all of you. You're all absolute massive legends. There will be a 2025 one, and we said previously that if you want to be on it, we actually got to set a limit. It's not just we have to, just to make things easier for us to working it out. So some of the people that were on the 2024 one probably won't quite get on the 2025 one. But yeah, so we said that you have to be subbed at either the £10 tier for 8 months or the £8 tier for 10 months. And it's getting pretty close to the 8 months for the rest of the year. So if anybody wants to be on that Patreon shirt, then come and join the Patreon, support us. Every penny we get is, really, really helps anyway. And you get something cool back. So yeah, I just wanted to put that in at the top of the show. But also, we are opening a shop again soon. We've got a load of cool new things in that we didn't have before. I just received today some badges, which look really awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
as well. Yeah, we got loads of. I'm really excited about opening the store and all the cool stuff, all the little trinkets. I mean, by the time we've finished this podcast in like 10 years or whatever, you could pretty much decorate your whole house in Dear Download stuff, because we're getting some really cool stuff now. So in the future, God knows what we're going to have. But yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we got the badges. We got some flags a few days back, and I think we only got 20 of them. So all of our stock is fairly limited. It was annoying. I wanted to buy loads more because you get it cheaper in the long run the more you buy, but you run out of money very quickly if you do that. Because it's cheaper per item, but not cheaper in general. So,
and we don't have like a warehouse where we're keeping all this stuff either. So
no,
we can't just buy hundreds of it.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything's going to be quite limited. We are going to be opening up the store again, probably around the 1st of March for only about 2 weeks. And then that'll give me plenty of time after to send everything else out before download. So there will be, we'll confirm that, but at the moment it's looking probably the 1st of March to open it. Then you'll have 2 weeks to get your stuff, to get your orders in. There might be a couple other bits in there as well. But yeah, have a look at it. I'll be posting about it all over the place when it does actually open, and we'll probably
you'll definitely know about it, people, when it's opening. You'll definitely know about it.
Yeah. Oh, and I was going to say about the flags as well. Yeah, I got sidetracked. The flags, that's a great way to show that you support us at Download. And honestly, if we're walking around and we see a flag, we're coming over to it to see you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. Of course.
No guarantee, we might not get a chance to walk around every campsite, but yeah, we are.
If we see one,
yeah,
if we see one, we're going to be coming over. Yeah,
excellent. Ashes by Dawn, merchant shop, Patreon. We also had a download announcement, didn't we? That we'd never really spoken about. Well, it was after our last episode, and we didn't do an episode about it because we didn't think there was enough really to do a full sort of bonus episode.
No, enough to mention, but not do a full episode about it.
No, but there was one very big bit of news on there that we've been expecting for a while, and that was the Venga Boys.
Yeah. Finally.
Yeah. Finally.
This is one of those finally years, and after this year, everyone can shut up about Green Day and Venga Boys, and then we can all move on. So we haven't actually spoken about the Venga Boys. Is that something that bothers you a little bit? No.
No. Okay. Cool.
I mean, I'm completely neutral with them. I really could not care less. So
okay,
I'm one of those.
So you're getting on the Venga bus with us? No.
Everyone else, I'll wait outside. You guys can just go on and party, and I'll be outside. Yeah, but no, if everyone else is going to enjoy it, I'm all game for it, baby. I'm all game.
Cool.
So
yeah. Well, it's all about the memes at the minute, isn't it? I don't know if that sounds like an old man way of saying it, but obviously they had Busted last year. They got McFly this year. People have wanted Venga Boys for ages. They got the Venga Boys.
Yeah.
Where are they going after this? This is the things people have wanted. They're either going to stop doing like the memey kind of thing, or it's just going to get worse and worse, and it'll be like more obscure things.
Well, I think they will, because that sort of like 90s kind of 2000s party cheesy music thing is in. I mean, they even do that sort of stuff at Bloodstock. So it's just a metal thing in general, I think, with metalers just liking really cheesy music, but the actual whole community liking really cheesy music that's just not metal at all. So next year you'll probably find they'll have like a Butlin stage where it'll be like 5 S Club 7, like, just like all of these random 90s 2000s pop acts, which I know that there is room for it, because the metalers like that sort of weird cheesy stuff. So and metal just goes really well together. So I don't see why Download would turn away what the fans want. So
no.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how mad everyone is that Venga Boys are playing. I don't think anyone's really mad about it, but yeah, I'm up for, fine.
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, I feel like if they carry it on though and keep trying to get pop bands that people would like, it would just get a bit stale and boring. And it's like, yeah, it's cool to have it the once. It's a novelty.
Yeah.
If they're trying to do it every year, it won't be so much of a novelty.
I suppose that's true. Yeah, maybe every like 3 or 4 years have like a cheesy pop act play somewhere. I mean, like it's not like they're playing in the main arena; they're playing in the fucking village. So yeah, you have them in the main arena, you've got a problem. You have them in the village. Who cares? It's just a extra bit of entertainment.
Yeah, but so if anyone was wondering why, it's quite often a thing where usually after the final headliners of the night, everyone's walking back to camp, and quite often people are singing the Venga Boys and things like that, and they're all about to go and party, so they're singing about the Venga Bus and things like that. So yeah, it's like I said, it's been kind of a meme for a long time. Like they should just get the Venga Boys because everyone wants it, and now they've got them.
Yeah, and for years I've been walking past people's tents and hearing
yeah.
Like people have been playing it at Download since I think like the mid 2000s through speakers and stuff. So yeah,
awesome.
Definitely, it definitely should be a part of it. I think, and I'm not too bothered about it. I think it will just add to whatever's there already.
Cool. And one final thing from me, I want to finally sort of reveal my next plan or my next project that I want to work on.
You sounded like a musician there. I'm just going to unveil my next project.
Well,
what's the next album you're working on?
I did say in one of the Instagram posts I put something about if you're showing our Patreon shirt, and I was saying it's Pasek Dripiana, I think his name is, that does it, and I was like, so I tagged him in it and said, like, if you're a band and you want a t-shirt design, and in brackets, or a podcast pretending you're a band, and you definitely give this guy some of your money. His designs are awesome. But yeah, it's kind of a new project. It's an idea that I've wanted to do for a long time. Long-time listeners will know I was playing D&D right at the beginning of this podcast, and I was talking about it every week, little bits about what was happening. Some shit went down, and I actually haven't played D&D for almost 3 years now, and I've missed it. I really have missed it. So I really want to get an online game going, an online campaign with a load of other YouTubers, really. I know I'm not a YouTuber, but people who are in our kind of space to, and stick it all on YouTube and get a campaign going on YouTube. One of the main reasons is because I want to be booked to play Download Festival more often. And I thought, and we're all nerds. We've had this chat loads and loads of times. We're all nerds, and Download are showing that they are willing to get more and more different things in the village, and so I'm
definitely
like, they would love a D&D campaign. So yeah, the idea is, not a campaign, a D&D live show. So I want to get it going. Probably going to be hoping to start it just after Download this year, maybe about a month after Download. And if we can get a big enough following, hopefully we'll be booked to play next year. But
oh my god, just imagine that would be amazing.
Yeah,
Adam plays D&D and he's from D&D.
Yeah. I've got a few people recruited already. So Kieran from Dippy Donuters DD
nice
is going to be playing. A guy I work with
seems like the kind of guy that would play D&D.
Yeah, I was hoping Courtney would as well. I think that would have been amazing. One of the ideas in my head was I really wanted them to play the same character, like Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. So only one of them is playing at a time.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but
they don't know where the other one is, and then when they come back to it, they don't know.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
And they're trying to play it cool, like pretending to us, the rest of the people playing, that they're not different personalities, but we completely know about it because they change physically as well.
Styles,
they look different.
Yeah.
And they're trying pretending to sort of be cool and go, what happened last week?
Oh, that's
I thought
awesome,
that'd be hilarious. But yeah, it's just Kieran at the moment. Another guy from work. He's not quite into our music kind of space. I guess on online stuff, but I know he's wanted to play for ages as well. He does do like gaming on YouTube, but yeah.
Well, I'm sure now you announcing it, there'll be quite a few people in the Discord that will want to get involved with that. I would have thought.
Yeah,
I don't know if everyone does play D&D or anything, but yeah. That was the idea. So if you do the same kind of thing as us, because I'm thinking if we've all got like previous other stuff we're doing, it will just give us a bit of a boost. We haven't got to start from nothing, because if we do that, it's going to take us probably 3 or 4 years to get to where I'd want to be able to play download, and then maybe other festivals, because it's not going to be download related. It'll just be music and metal related. God, you'd be in the ideal place at Bloodstock. Everyone there's pretty much an orc anyway. So.
Jesus, man.
And that's how you don't get accreditation for Bloodstock Festival.
But yeah, so I'm going to be learning to DM for it. I'm going to be a brand new DM doing it for the first time. Who knows? I could be awful at it. And we might not get very far, but we'll do some practice sessions, do some learning over the next few months, and try and get it started. But yeah, so like you said, if there's anybody else who does do like vlogging or anything like that, or the similar kind of thing to us and wants to be involved, then reach out and give me a shout. But yes, welcome back. These episodes, we're talking about every band playing on the Friday at Download. These episodes are listener base pretty much doubles, so there's going to be a lot of people listening that probably haven't listened to us since these episodes last year. Welcome back. We're glad to have you back, and let's talk.
Where have you been? Why haven't you been listening? Explain yourself to me. Tell me right now.
Leave it in the comments in his YouTube. Help him out a little bit.
Yeah, leave it in my YouTube.
He's at 5K subscribers as well, by the way, guys. If you weren't aware, the new people,
Fufka.
That is. Yep, the new people.
Fufka. But I want to get to 6K, so please get involved. 6K, 5K.
Do you know the amount you were growing? I was certain you were going to be at 10K by Download. You might still. You've got a couple of months still, but
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, depends. You might have a new guest vlogger that might help you with subscribers.
Yeah, this new guest vlogger better pump those numbers up. I'll tell you that much. I'm going to be very disappointed.
I'll send them to you probably tomorrow. I'll look through them because I haven't looked at the videos since recording them.
It doesn't matter what they're in, because I'm going to edit them anyway. They won't be in full, so they'll be edited into bits, so it doesn't really matter. Send me as much content as possible and I'll cut it up into bits that I use.
Cool. I never finished it though. I was going to say at the beginning, like, okay, this is for Simon, because he can be very busy supervising the rest of the band, making sure they're carrying all the stuff.
That's true.
But I never actually said that at the beginning. That was the whole reason for making like a parody of it, and I never said it. But yes, it was true. As soon as the band finished, Simon stepped forward off the stage and the band carried on.
I was talking to people. That's my job after the show, is to talk to people. I've only got a microphone to pack up. So I was like, get down the front, talk to everyone, give the guys some space to tidy up all their stuff,
Yeah.
I was being a good front man.
You were, and you are.
Interacting with the crowd. So, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Friday afternoon. It starts about 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock the open. Going from the bottom up on the poster.
Yeah, so, Friday on the dog turf. So, Adam will be reading out blurbs or, things written about the bands. Now, some of these are written by the bands or people that are pretty much illiterate. So, the things he will be reading, he will not necessarily be using the proper King's English dictionary. So, just brace yourselves. This is not Adam not reading things properly. He's reading them as they are written, and from doing this for a couple of years now, we've realized that some of these band bios are written horribly. So please bear with him when he struggles with stuff, because some stuff will not make sense to his brain because it's not written properly.
Excellent, thank you. And I forgot you normally say that, but we struggled trying to read the first one, and then I reminded him, oh yeah, we got to tell you about this first. Okay, The Haunt. The Haunt conjures a wild, youthful and stylish indifference that reflects an era when rock and roll was by and for the beautiful outcasts. Led by siblings Anastasia and Maximilian, the group creates a strong bond with fans through their live shows and online by encouraging confidence and authenticity. Their sound elicits a feeling of both classic and Hello. Their sound elicits a feeling of both classic and contemporary rock icons who have influenced their music and denies any claim to chasing trends. The last bit didn't really make a lot of sense to me, but anyway, what do you think of The Haunt?
The Haunt. I've put very good pop rock, good vocals and melodies. Does this belong at Download Festival at all? Question mark.
Of course it does. It's not a rock or metal festival. Everything, even the Venga Boy. I know what you mean.
They're very good, but this opened up something in my brain just to say, like, how far down the line away from like rock and metal is the festival willing to go to put bands on?
Yeah.
You know, like how much further are we going to get away from things being rock and metal? I know it's an alternative festival technically, but how far is it going to go before it's none of those things and all of those things at the same time?
Yeah.
So
I think,
although it was very good, from the songs that I listened to, I was like, I don't really hear why this would be on at Download.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think I've heard. I don't think. Well, from judging by the Friday, there wasn't as much alt pop as there has been in the previous couple of years.
Oh no, not at all.
But
yeah.
I think that it seems like a lot of the bands are leaning closer to indie rather than alt pop this year. Well, maybe not a massive amount, but yeah, there was a few. So I've just written down, yeah, easy listening, male and female singers, not a lot of energy in the recording, maybe different live. I didn't feel much energy from the songs I heard.
I didn't feel a lack of energy. I thought it was really good. I just thought this doesn't sound like a band that would play Download, but it sounds really good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. That was The Haunt. Battlesnake. A noxious synthesis of amphetamine and gasoline. Mortals tremble. All hail Battlesnake. And that was it. That's all they got written. There's quite a few little short ones, so I'm going to enjoy this.
That's all you need for this band.
Yeah.
I feel like that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 80s metal done sort of modern-esque. There were a lot of obviously modern elements to it. Like story-driven parody? Question mark. Would probably be very entertaining live, I would say.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was really different. I thought the way that they looked was different, the way they dressed, the way they sort of presented it all. Very interesting. So yeah, this is something I think a lot of people will enjoy.
Yeah. I've written sounds like they're going for an 80s sound, kind of a punk sound, but probably a subgenre that I'm not familiar with, and I thought maybe you might be able to poke me in the right direction a bit more, but
I didn't pick up on that. But
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, not a lot else to say. Yeah, they sounded okay. That was Battlesnake. Gore.
You said that so West Country.
I know, I was supposed to. It was
Gore.
deliberate. Gore. A bud that never blooms is a representation of love that had been lost during its fruitation. It is a collection of heart-wrenching moments across a lifetime, particularly within the last few years. Every note and every lyric represents grief, longing, love, and lust. If there is anything we want from you while listening to this record, it is to feel and feel deeply. I like that one.
Yeah, that was a good description. These descriptions sound like they're getting much better than they have been for the last few years. Don't know what the others are going to be like. Yeah, Gore. I've got here modern down-tuned metal, shades of Spirit Box and Loathe. It was good, but not for me. Not my sort of thing.
Okay.
But I can see a lot of people liking it, especially Spirit Box and Loathe fans, definitely.
Yeah. I quite liked it after a few listens. So I've written down name is heavy. The sound, if you like in this moment, you'll like Gore. looks, they look like BBC comedians. And then I've just written, I actually quite like gore. And I did, I wasn't that keen on it to start with, but I probably listened to maybe 3 or 4 different songs and it grew on me quite a bit. So, yeah, I liked it. That was Gore. Riding the Low. Ooh, a lot of scrolling to do here. Riding the Low were formed in 2006 by Paddy Considine after he had a revelation watching indie rockers guided by voices. The band are named after a quote from a Lee Marvin biography that Considine had given his father as a gift. Upon reading the book, after his father's death, Paddy knew instantly that this would be the name of his band, and all he needed now was to find the other musicians. Richard Eaton had been in bands with Considine since they were teenagers. Oh, sorry, that again, I read that a bit weird. Richard Eaton had been in bands with Considine since they... That's a weird name. Considine since they were teenagers, so it was a given Eaton would play bass. Through Eaton came Chris Baldwin and then Dan Baker on guitars, and with a revolving seat of drummers, Riding the Low was born.
Riding the Low, I love him. I love a lot of his films. I'm trying to get a copy recently of Dead Man's Shoes, which is one of my favourite films. So that's a fantastic film with him in it. But yeah, very 90s-esque. I've put down 90s Oasis / Supergrass kind of stuff.
Go on, carry on.
Okay, I've written good, but download ? Again. And he's a good actor, but the band are not very good.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I've written, download couldn't get Oasis, so they went with Riding the Low. Fuck yeah.
But is what it is, I guess. Still adds something to the lineup, something different.
So that was Riding the Low. Next up is Graphic Nature. No bio, so no review. Windhand.
That's what you get. No bio, no review, sir.
Yeah. They like the colour Night Vision Blue. I saw pretty much all their album covers and single covers were
gone with a theme.
Yeah, and Night Vision Blue. They've got heavy breakdown. I know we're switching it up. I don't know why I'm doing this, but we've done it.
Go for it.
Yeah, I've written. They've got heavy breakdowns, heavy vocals, but they've also got like electronic breakdowns. And I have no idea what that would be. I've probably heard that in bands before, but yeah, what would you describe that as? What would you call that?
Well, I put down new metal because I felt like it had a lot of new metal vibes to it. And I feel like their kind of style and those kind of breakdowns were very 2000, 90s/2000 E. So that's what I would call it. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I've put modern metalcore with a massive dose of new metal. And again, I put good, but not for me. It didn't excite me or get me going or anything. But I was listening to it thinking, this is really good.
Yeah. Okay. So,
very good.
Not particularly for me either. That was Graphic Nature. Next up is Windhand. Now, this is a massive one. I'm not going to read all of this. Some of these are huge. Purveyors of doom reminiscent of greats like Electric Wizard and Sleep, Richmond, Virginia's Windhand deliver a nuanced and ethereal take on the style, blending shuddering low-end fuzz and pounding rhythms with airy vocals. The band recalls the sound of classic doom while adding a new dimension to one of metal's heaviest subgenres. Emerging in 2010, the group became an underground sensation before signing to Relapse and releasing the acclaimed Soma LP. It's a game I really want to play still, which featured prominently on a score of notable Zine and website year-end lists. Subsequent outings like 2015's Stoner Doom-laden Grief's Infernal Flower and 2018's Psych-blasted Eternal Return helped cement Windhand's reputation as one of the elite heavy music acts of 2010. I'm going to read any more of that. That's about how they formed and everything.
Jesus Christ, go back to 2010. Fuck that. Windhand, absolutely loved this band.
Yeah.
Doom metal, definitely has that old school vibe like they mentioned, fuzzy, heavy, disgusting guitars, lots of low end, that sort of old 70s Sabbath style stuff in there. Really good. They are on my bands to check out.
Okay.
So I will be at Windhand because this is awesome. So yeah, I absolutely loved it.
Nice. Yeah, I've put it as Doom. It's great that they're sticking with a lot of 80s, maybe even 70s psychedelic sounding bands. Also, the cover art and art style was very like 70s as well. That was
I
quite
loved
cool.
it. So sick.
Yeah. I said I put they've got a lot of listeners. And you know, if they're quite popular and bringing a crowd, then fair shout. But it's not for me. But yeah, it's cool that they've decided, right, we still want to do this. No bands are doing it really anymore. Well, there's probably loads, but nobody.
Yeah, there is, but I get what you mean. Like they stand out like a sore thumb on this day, definitely.
Yeah,
which in a good way.
Yeah,
in a good way.
Yeah, but yeah, it was cool. That was Windhand. Next up is
Windhand.
Svalbard. Hard hitting. That's the only way to describe this fearless group. There's no poetry, no ambiguity, just direct, raw honesty as the Bristolian quartet tackle some very uncomfortable subjects head on. This is heavy in the most evocative sense of the word. The blunt lyrics are equally as important as the music, while refining their distinctive blend of euphoric black metal, post-rock and D-beat. Svalbard have incorporated a few more surprising influences along the way. From soft, mournful singing to the progressive guitar leads, it showcases a sensitive dynamic that leads impact to their most crushing moments, of which there are undoubtedly many. Whilst the underground has been in on the secret for a few years now, 2020, the year that people well and truly took notice of Svalbard's third album, When I Die, Will I Get Better? Nah, I don't really need any more of that. It's all self-patting on the back rubbish.
Yeah, just if they have any of those, just stop like quarter of the way through. As long as we understand who the band are and what they play, then fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, you have to cut all that out because my cat does not care about the microphone.
That's fine.
She's like, no, I'm just going to bash the shit out of it while Adam's talking. Svalbard, they sound like they're from your neck of the woods. Yep. They're from Bristol. Yep. It's fucking hilarious. A mix of metal, black gaze, post-rock, screaming vocals. Yeah, very good. I really, really liked it. I like the mix that they've gone for. I like all of those sort of genres. So yeah, I you know, if I'm definitely going to be staying for the next band that we're watching. So if there's no one in between that I need to watch Windhand, I'll watch Windhand, Svalbard, and the next band we're talking about, and the band after that, all in one run.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've written quite a bit more for this. I've written, I'm actually falling in love with this band more with each song. I think they have a similar sound to Arch Enemy, maybe not quite as heavy, but I haven't heard much Arch Enemy recently. So yeah, they got a heavy female singer with some very melodic bits. Some of the songs I listened to, oh yeah, this was weird. So I couldn't work it out. I haven't done music for a long time, but yeah, so some of the songs I listened to used either a diminished or maybe even augmented chords, or sort of the chords and played riffs with those augmented or diminished notes. And they played it in a way I've never really heard before. It gave it a really unique feel. Like when you have a few riffs sort of strung together, the next riff just sounds right, and the next one just sounds right. Well, this one sounded weird because it was like it had either augmented or diminished chord, but it still sounded right, which was cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like when bands do that.
Yeah, it sounded right, but it catches you off guard, and it makes you think about it, because it's not what the song should sound like, if that makes sense. There's a lot of major chords, but yeah, so it still works. And it took me a few listens to actually catch on to that, and it would just catch me off guard and go, what was that? That was cool. That sounded really eerie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got some fast bits, some slow bits. I bet they're awesome live. Yeah, I'll definitely be there for Svalbard. If anybody has sort of deconstructed their sound any more, or any more detail, then yeah, come in the Discord and let us know, or let me know. I'd love to know how close to being correct I was with that, but also like if there's names for it and things like that. Yeah, that'd be awesome. And that was Svalbard. The next band up are Vola. A Danish-Swedish quartet, Vola continues to defy conventions, combining electronic elements with a progressive and pop-infused metal sound. Their fourth album, Friend of a Phantom, will be released on the 1st of November 2025. It's got the band members. I know you love Vola.
Oh, I've been a huge fan for a long time, and this will be the first time of seeing them live, so I'm very, very excited. Yeah, electronic infused metal / a little bit of prog, with clean vocals rather than screaming, which always makes them stand out to most bands. They do have a little bit of screaming here and there, but not much. Yeah, incredible band, great sound, great singer. I just love everything. Their last album, their new album that's come out, is absolutely amazing. I will 100% not be missing a note of Vola, and I am absolutely super stoked to see them.
Awesome. I can't get into Vola. I know you've spoken about them a lot. I think I've figured out why, though. There's nothing wrong with them. You know, I think obviously they're great musicians. What have I written? I think I've written. I think maybe I was expecting to fall in love with them immediately because you like them and because they're Swedish. But there's just something about them, and I think I put my finger on it. And the music can be fairly repetitive. The kind of repetitive riffs that you'd hear in industrial music sometimes. I think it might have been just a couple of songs that I listened to, but that's what I thought about. And I'm not into industrial, but maybe that's why you like them. Maybe it makes it similar to industrial.
Yeah, no, I can definitely hear those sorts of elements. I get you, like that Meshuggah thing of a repetitive riff.
Yeah,
I get that totally. Yeah.
So yeah, that's why. But I mean, I'll be there for Svalbard. I'll probably join you for Windhand. So I'll be there and watch Vola probably. The next band is Alcest. I think that's how you pronounce it. Alcest was formed in 2000 by songwriter and multi-instrumentalist Nige, and later joined by drummer Winter Halter in 2009. Labeled as pioneers of post-metal shoegaze or black gaze. That's where I read it. When you said it a minute ago, I was like, black gaze. I read that.
Do you know what's hilarious is I don't look at any of these bios, and I've written the exact same thing as what they've just said.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, Alcest
That's great.
Alcest crafted a unique sound based on musical opposites from their very first EP, Le Secret. Any more? Most of that's just about their albums and what they've released and everything.
Yeah, we don't have to go.
Do you
don't
like
have to go through any of that.
Alcest?
I really like Alcest, and I didn't realise the last time we briefly spoke about them, I'd already had like 5 or 6 of their songs saved to my like songs. Because I was like, I really like this band, but I completely forgot that this was the band who they were. And then when I re-listened to them, I was like, oh my God, it's this band. What the hell? So yeah, like post-metal, shoegaze, some black gaze elements. Yeah, I absolutely love them. We'll definitely be checking them out. So there could be a run here of Windhand, Svalbard, Vola, and Alcest. So I might be spending a lot of the Friday on the Dogtooth stage.
Yeah.
Because that's a run of some very good bands. So yeah.
Cool. So I've written, they have long songs. It's largely instrumental. Not my cup of tea normally. But there's something about the sound that I really like. Just, there was something there. Just something, it was just
like... Oh my God. You like a shoegazy band. This is a whole new avenue for you. Oh my God. I'm so surprised.
Yeah. And I couldn't put my finger on what it was. I don't know. It was just something in the sound that sat right with me, I think. And I don't know what it was. I don't understand music as well as you. I've also written, it could be the prog element. This write-up says that they're not prog, but with 9-minute-long songs, there's going to be parts that sound proggy. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Because they do have a lot of long stretches, but also they have a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And that makes them feel proggy. So I get that totally. I get that.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just shoegaze that I don't understand properly yet. And when we've been talking about shoegaze for the last 2 years. You still fucking don't understand what it is or more than
how it works or...
Yeah, I have no
and
idea.
Shoegaze is one of the least complicated styles of music. Like if you said to me, "Oh, do you know what? I can't get on board with these prog metal bands like Opeth or stuff like that," I'd be like, "Fair enough," because it's all over the place. But you just going, "Oh, I can't get on board with these simple 3-note shoegaze bands."
I don't know. Somebody write in and explain to me as well. Tell me what it is. Anyway, that was Alcest, and yeah, they're very good. I'll probably be there for them as well.
Wicked.
Probably only
Wicked.
get to play like 3 songs, because a lot of bands don't have some long songs, but I have a few short ones. But most of their songs were at least 7-8 minutes, some much longer.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah,
really like
definitely a long song band. But yeah, no, I like that. The format works for the kind of music that they do. So
yeah. Excellent. Next up is, I think it's pronounced Ivor. I don't really know.
Ivor.
Ivor. Yeah, there's a weird thing on the I, which I haven't actually written here. But anyway, after Alcest is Ivor, often considered to be one of the most prolific and unique Nordic artists of her generation. Ivor has released 11 studio albums to date, crossing musical genres and always pushing the bounds of the expected. Awarded with the Nordic Council Music Prize of 2021, Ivor's inspired by the climate contrast and traditional folk music tradition. So that's what we're talking about. Those words don't normally go together, and they feel a bit weird in my head. I'm not going to read any more of that.
Okay. Yeah,
what do you think?
Yeah, a modern take on like traditional Norwegian folk music. Good, very Peter Gabriel-esque at times. But like most traditional music bands, I don't really see where they fit in at metal festivals. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that. Last year there was that other weird band that just played loads of historical music.
Yeah.
I don't get why some of these bands have specifically sort of chosen the metal and alternative worlds to fit in with. I know technically it is alternative because it's a alternative form of music. So technically it is alternative, but it's not alternative the way that we would think about alternative music.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's great. Like, it's awesome. It's well put together. Like I said, I'm the biggest Peter Gabriel fan. It had those elements to it because he uses a lot of world music elements and traditional stuff. So for those reasons, I loved it. But again, should it be on a download lineup, and should it be that high up on a download lineup? It is something that's very, very debatable.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I agree. I've just written moody Viking music, not for me. Moody hot Viking lady, definitely for me.
Yeah, that's the element that we do like.
Cancelled.
But it was good, and she was very good as well. So yeah, very, very good.
Yeah. That was Ivor, and headlining the Dogtooth stage on the Friday is Apocalyptica. I don't know if it's going to explain it in here, but like Kelly had no idea about anything about Apocalyptica, so I might explain it a little bit. If it, it just say explain it. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. In the lore of heavy metal, only a handful of artists can claim to have changed history, and even fewer can say they've done it twice. Enter Apocalyptica, and one of metal's greatest, most unlikely success stories. By any account, it's the stuff of legends, and it's about to come full circle. Formed in 1993 at the world-renowned Sibelius Academy in Helsinki, Finland, Apocalyptica began life as a loving lo-fi nod to Metallica from 4 classically trained musicians with no greater ambition than to explore their favourite band's music with their chosen instrument. As founding band leader, I don't know, I can't say these names.
Just try your hardest.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah, just try.
As founding, if you're drinking, stop drinking for a minute, because this might come out of your nose otherwise. As founding band leader, Eike Toppinen explains, the project would take on a life of its own when they finally released Plays Metallica by 4 cellos in 1996. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, basically they started as a Metallica tribute band, covers band, yeah, but playing it on 4 cellos instead of any other instruments.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And the first bit of that write-up, they changed history, or changed the rock and metal scene twice, was, yeah, it's so true. Like, when they first came up through, like, from playing Metallica, like, they broke through and everyone was loving it. And then they started playing all other types of music, and people still love it, and they get the singers from who these bands are doing covers of to actually join them now.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, they've. I'll read my write up and then give you
Cool.
my thoughts on. So yeah, I've got Apocalyptica. Yeah, metal. So metal obviously played on cellos, pretty cool. Saw them a lot back in the day, like mid to late 2000s.
Yeah.
When they were doing all their Metallica stuff and the covers, and there is a couple of their songs, especially the song with Adam Gauthier from 3 Days Grace, which is incredible. Me and my brother were loving that one back in the day.
I don't care.
But they do have loads and loads of good tunes as well. So
yeah.
So
that song with Adam Gauthier, is it Gauthier? It's called I Don't Care. That is their most popular song according to Spotify.
Oh, okay.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's a big.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a big track. It was a big track back in the day, so I'm not surprised. It's they done a video for it and everything, so that's probably why it was their biggest. Yeah,
107 million listens.
Fair play. That's decent.
Ridiculous.
That's a decent amount of plays. Well done, Apocalyptica. Yeah. Awesome.
And well done, Adam, as well. Like 3 days.
You don't need to say well done to that prick. They sold millions of records.
Yeah, that's a good point. It probably might have been a bit bigger in America than they are here. I mean, I know they're big here.
Oh,
but
play fucking arenas in America.
Yeah.
3 Days Grace.
Yeah.
Play giant places.
Cool.
So they just announced a tour actually. Me and my brother will go mental about it, but it's obviously not over here, which is them and Breaking Benjamin doing a double headline tour.
We should go to America. We'll get to see Saliva then as well.
Yeah.
Cold are touring all the time. He just put a thing out with like probably about 50 dates on it. Never ever anywhere apart from America. So I'll never get to see him.
A lot of these bands that we like that are very American-esque, they don't necessarily have... Well, 3 Days Grace play over here all the time, which is very lucky.
Yeah.
But other bands definitely don't. Like I sent you the Soil, Spineshank and Head PE tour.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. That is going to be amazing. So I'm sure we'll try and get to that as well, because that'll be a couple more bands we can tick off the list. Because Spineshank, I never got to see Spineshank. So that will be... just immense for me.
Yeah.
Like, wow. So, yeah.
Awesome. Do you know, quickly while we're on this, sorry, Apocalyptica. We were talking about the Exeter Cavern the other day as well, weren't we? And you've never even heard of it. And I couldn't believe that. So I was looking at some of their gigs earlier, and there's nothing that exciting coming up really. But we will go and stay in Exeter and go to the Cavern when they have a decent gig on.
Yeah, hells yeah, I'm up for that.
Definitely. I had Brock, I can't remember his surname, but Brock from 36 Crazy Fists nuts in my face when I saw them there. He just leant over me. I was like, oh, awesome. But yes, back to Apocalyptica. I largely ignored them for many, many years. I've written, wow, what a great band. The write-up only begins to scratch the surface. And then in brackets, explain Apocalyptica. I've done that. I largely ignored them for many years, not being too bothered by what they were doing. But listening to them for this, it got me really excited. Their music just made me feel good. Really good. And I also written the top songs according to Spotify is I Don't Care with Adam Gauthier. And the second most popular one is Not Strong Enough with Brent Smith of Shinedown.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah.
Not even Metallica. They have way surpassed the Metallica years. And like I said, all these bands that they're doing the covers of their songs, the bands go, right, I'm joining you for that. I'm singing because you're instrumental, because it's cellos.
Yeah, it's so different. That's why you'd want to be on your own sort of version of it, singing it, because it's just a cool, different version of your song, which is awesome. Yeah,
very cool. So, I mean, I don't think I might have seen them back in like 2003, maybe 2005, something like that. I'm sure they played, like you said, played quite a bit. And I just ignored them, so I don't remember the last time I saw them. So I've
seen them at least once at Download.
Yeah.
And I've definitely seen them maybe twice being support for a couple of people. Okay. I cannot remember what gigs. We're talking 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely seen them a few times. And really, really enjoyed it, especially the Metallica covers. I thought they were awesome.
Yeah, cool. And that was the end of the Avalanche. Not Avalanche stage, I just read that. The end of the Dogtooth stage. So, opening the Avalanche stage on the Friday is Karen Dio. And And the only write-up is A Heart That's on Fire, your favourite Brazilian punk rocker, Another Heart That's on Fire. That's it. Karen Dio?
Karen Dio. I've got here modern punk, some grunge stuff in there. Reminded me a bit of Scene Queen, the way she was singing. It's over some bits, quite like modern-esque female. Was good, but obviously totally not my thing or designed for me in any way whatsoever.
Designed for you, yeah.
It's not for me. So, but yeah, very good.
Cool. I've written nothing spectacular about music that blows me away, really. It's probably quite catchy if you listen to it enough times, but I'm not going to listen to it enough times to find myself singing it. I doubt. That was Karen Dio. So next up is Dead Pony. White noise, information overload, the inescapable sense that your voice is being lost in the crowd. For rising Scottish stars Dead Pony, the realization that keeping heads above water in a soul-suckingly oversaturated modern music industry was stopping them from chasing the sort of singular sounds that had led here in the first place was a moment to pump brakes and take stock. They've done some cool things by the looks of it. Anyway, I'm not reading any more of that. It was written in Scottish, which is rubbish.
Yeah.
What do you think of Dead Pony?
Dead Pony, yeah. Alt rock from Scotland was okay, not for me. I really don't have much to say about them.
Okay. I've written pop punky. It was actually quite catchy on the first listen. So as opposed to Karen Dio, like it was nothing, but after a while, you know, all music like that's gonna be catchy. You'll have a hook.
Stuck. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, there's something a little unique about them. I didn't write what that was. That's all I wrote. There's something unique about them. But yeah, I didn't mind them too much. That was Dead Pony. Next up is Unpeople. And the write-up just says, "We are unpeople." And I've written, "We are uninteresting."
Unpeople, yeah. So a mix of heavy rock and alternative, apparently formed out of the ashes of Press Tomiko, which was quite a big band that people liked. I feel like these guys would go down really well at 2000 Trees. As soon as I listened to them, I was like, this is a 2000 Trees band. These guys should play 2000 Trees. It was good, not my thing. But yeah, they're playing the wrong festival.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I can't remember exactly what they sounded like at the minute, but now you said that, I think that's probably around roughly what I sort of thought.
Yeah.
That was Unpeople. The Meths. Frantic, louder than a four-piece. We've only just scratched the surface on what they've got to offer. Kerrang! Oh yeah, that's a quote actually. Frantic, louder than a four-piece. And then in quotes, we've only just scratched the surface on what they've got to offer, which is from Kerrang! In 2024, posted by the Meths. Well done, the Meths. What do you think of the Meths?
Modern punk with some good riffs. Good.
Yeah,
That is literally all I've got for this.
I'm not into punk, man. That's all I wrote. I'm not punk, but yeah, if you're into punk, have a listen to the Meths. Bad Nerves. Bad Nerves are a 5-piece power pop rock and roll band from Essex, the bastard child of a Ramones/Strokes one-night stand. They play ferociously fast, distorted pop songs with melodies that hook so deep, even the most skilled lobotomist would struggle to scrape them out. Currently the 4th most streamed artist on Spotify. I doubt it. Also not for me.
No, I've put modern punk / rock. Very good. Really liked these guys. They had me headbanging and moving because I do like punk. I thought these guys were great. When I was listening to them, I was like, this is awesome. Really good. Really had me sort of, pumping. So I think there's probably going to be bands on at the time when they're playing, unfortunately. But if I had nothing else to watch that I really wanted to, I would probably go and check these guys out.
Yeah. I think I remember thinking that at the time, that you would probably like them.
Yeah.
And that was
Very
the
good.
Meths. Next up is Trophy Eyes. And their write-up is a short one again. Sad songs disguised as happy songs.
You read this out last time, didn't you? And you
Yeah.
said that was someone else's, that was like Biffy or someone else's synopsis for their band, their
did.
bio.
Yeah, maybe I did.
So Trophy Eyes, I've put a very good post-rock / alternative band from Australia. I can hear some Menzingers, some Story So Far influences. Very good. I actually listened to quite a lot of these guys. I was quite digging their sound. So I think I listened to like 5 or 6 tracks before I went to the next band because I was like, oh, this is quite good. I'm going to leave this on.
Yeah.
So
I think I probably did the same. I wrote, yeah, I can see that. Actually, I don't mind this. Kind of sounds a bit like Holding Absence to me. And I can hear a bit of All American Rejects in it as well.
Yeah, right on the money.
Yeah.
Holding Absence, definitely. Yeah, totally got that from it.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah, they were good. What were they called? Trophy Eyes. Next up is Crossfaith. And I have a feeling you're going to have a bit to say about them. All their write-up, it says, is a new era has just begun.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. They seem like a band that doesn't really care about write-ups. So electronic-driven metal from Japan. An immense band with tons of great songs. There are so many of their songs that I absolutely love. They are absolutely just a force to be reckoned with live as well. If you want energy, people going mental, these guys do not slow down. If I've done a line of coke, these guys have done several lines of coke before coming on stage. Put it that way. Time permitting, I think it will fit into my day perfectly.
Nice.
I will 100% be at Crossfaith.
Nice.
So I will be there literally, going crazy.
Awesome. I also wrote Massive Energy, the first sentence. Heavier version of Electric Callboy. I probably shouldn't really compare the two. But new metal stuff in there too. And a bit of Enter Shikari. But they were around early 2000s originally, weren't they? They went away for a bit.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
So, the new metal makes sense in there. I never really got into them back then. I think whenever I was looking for Crossfade, it always came up Crossfaith as well. And I think I listened to a couple of songs, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. But listening to it again for this, I can see why people like them. If I'm around, and there's nobody else to, I might just follow you around all day Friday. Do the same things.
Sounds good to me, bro. Sounds good to
Cool.
me.
And that was Crossfaith. Elliot Minor. They got a bit of a longer one. Whether I read it all or not, I don't know. Elliot Minor are an English rock band formed in York, in the mid-2000s, known for blending orchestral elements with alternative rock and pop punk. The band gained popularity with their debut single Parallel Worlds, which led to the success of their chart-topping self-titled debut album in 2008. Their follow-up albums, I'm not going to read about all their albums, after hundreds of shows across the globe, including notable events such as headlining Apple Music Festival, a few other bits. Elliot Minor then went on hiatus in 2011, reuniting for a short string of special sold-out performances in 2014. Now, over a decade later, Elliot Minor are returning to ignite that same flame. What do you think of Elliot Minor?
Nice. I was really surprised. I put rock/emo. Actually surprised how good this was. Maybe back in the day I was getting them mixed up with someone that was rubbish, but I remember thinking to myself, Elliot Minor, oh, that's trash. I really liked them.
So much on the same page.
So
not just now,
I don't
in the
know
past
what,
as well.
I don't know what band I was getting this mixed up with because it's really good. And if I would have actually listened to the correct band back in the day, I would have thought, I actually really like this.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
I've
written harmonized guitars, fast, upbeat, simple plan style lyrics. I've slept on Elliot Minor for way too long. It's exactly the same as you. I don't know if it's just me. I think any band that uses a name in their band title kind of just automatically puts me off, or used to at least anyway. So I just never gave them a listen because it was Elliot in it. So I was just not interested for some reason. But I really liked them. They were so good.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah,
totally agree. Amazing,
ridiculous. So Elliot Minor. If we can get near that tent because of the next band, I'll be there. But the next band is McFly, and it might not be quite as packed as Busted was, but it's going to be busy in that tent.
100%. All the people that were there to see Busted will be there to see McFly because although those guys have been linked for so long now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see if there's a write-up. There is 20 years, 7 number one singles, 6 albums, 2 of them chart toppers, 1 hiatus, 1 reunion, hundreds of shows, thousands of fans, millions of streams, countless awards. After all that, McFly still have one question for you. Where did all the guitars go? I don't get that, but anyway. McFly returned with their 7th studio album, Power to Play. That's about it. There's not much else interesting apart from, they're bringing stuff out, which I was surprised with, some bands, they just come back and play all their old stuff to get a bit of money.
Right on their laurels, yeah.
Yeah, but, that statement is Power to Play, an all-out celebration of rock music in all forms that takes McFly back to the very reason they started their journey in the first place. Yeah, that's about it. I actually didn't write anything for them. What have you got?
I've just got obviously the pop. Pop. They are pop/pop punk-y, I guess, but they're probably more pop than anything else. Massive band. They've had number one singles and shit. Yeah. They've literally topped the charts before. They've had albums that have sold like fucking hundreds of thousands. So, I would never go and watch McFly, but we had Busted last year. It makes sense to have McFly this year and do that sort of double take thing.
Yeah.
And for people that like those kind of things, and that kind of music has had such a resurgence in the last couple of years, I can see why Download booked them. It makes sense to pack that tent out. They're good. I would never personally go out my way to listen to them, but I've got no issues or qualms with it at all. So fair play. Yeah. If you're going to go and watch McFly, enjoy yourself, because if you can get in the tent, that is.
Yeah. It's going to be exactly the same as it was for Busted last year. Packed out. And I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for them. Good thing for Download. Pretty much the same as you. Again, I wouldn't go out my way to watch them or listen to them really, but I have no problem with them being there. We had no problem with Busted being there last year. It makes sense. And these kind of bands are a lot of people's bands that a lot of people got into sort of heavy music through these bands. It was their pop music growing up. Like probably me and you, we had more poppy stuff than anything. We had Offspring in the charts. But I had all the Now albums growing up when I was sort of a young teenager.
Loved all that stuff as well, definitely.
Yeah. And so it makes sense that a lot of people like this that you're still going to Download. So yeah, great for them. I did want to say, I'm pretty sure it's Tom Fletcher. Which one is he? Tom Fletcher. I didn't actually say what he does. I think Tom Fletcher went into writing kids' books, and they are really, really good.
Oh,
so anybody with probably age sort of 3 to 4 kids, we got them for our kids, and you sort of, it makes you do actions with the books. It's like, there's dust. There's like this fairy dust in your book, and you can't see what you're meant to be seeing. Swoosh the book around, and kids love it. So It's not just reading and looking at the pictures. It's like, using the book to do stuff, and so good.
Oh, it's very cool.
Yeah, just wanted to put that in because maybe not so many people know about them. And they are headlining the Avalanche stage. So that's it for the Avalanche stage, I guess. Next on the Opus stage. I was distracted. I was like, talking about books instead of McFly. But yeah, whatever. Opening the Opus stage, I think you're going to be in, I don't know, it depends how hungover you are on the Friday, but opening the Opus stage is The Scratch. And I know you like The Scratch. The Scratch are a 4-piece act from Dublin, Ireland, born from a shared love of metal and traditional Irish music. The Scratch have moulded triumphant melodies with the groove and intensity of metal. Started as a fun experiment in the kitchen of a house in Perrystown, Dublin, The Scratch have already built up a serious buzz in their hometown. A 2017 busking trip to Rory Gallagher Festival in Ballyshannon saw the band score their first viral video. Probably a lot more cool information in there, but it's also quite long, so I'm not going to read the rest of that. We'll tell you about
We don't need to.
Yeah, we'll tell you about them.
Yeah. So, The Scratch, an incredible 4-piece band from Ireland. They play folk-inspired metal stuff. Like some of it's kind of Irish folky, some of it sounds like Fear Factory. It's really hard to sort of bring out what they actually do. But one of the most entertaining bands that I've discovered over the last 5 years. Absolutely rinsed their new album Mind Yourself completely, and I will be in first thing to watch these guys. The only thing I'm worried about is if this is going to work well on the second stage, because it's such a big stage, and because of the type of music they make, it seems to me like it's better in a smaller setting. And obviously seeing them in 2023, or was it 2022, I think, in the on the Dogtooth was immense, but seeing them on the second stage might not have the same vibe, but I could eat my words completely.
I kind of agree with you on that. I didn't actually see them, but I've listened to them and seen live videos of them. And you want to be close to the band for that kind of thing, don't you? You want to be like, you want to feel like you're there with them. It's not. Yeah. It's a party with the band, not a performance of the band.
Yeah.
So yeah,
like the best time I've seen them was on the forest stage at Trees.
Yeah.
With all the trees there, that wooden stage, them there, the place rammed, everyone really close, and the whole crowd just absolutely vibing.
Yeah.
With what they're doing, like it was fucking immense. So yeah, I'm just not worried because I'm going to enjoy it, but I just don't think it will be, like you said, as intense and as closely knit as you would want it to be at a scratch gig.
Yeah, cool. I didn't write anything about them either because I knew we would have a chat about them. I didn't have to write anything down. If it wasn't first thing, I'd probably definitely watch them, I would say, but I don't think I'm going to end up making it in for them. Who knows? We might have...
It's Friday. It's even later than normal.
I know, but we'll be out drinking quite late on the Thursday, watching the Venga Boys, partying on the Venga bus. It depends.
I won't be out late. I'll be out late Wednesday. I won't be out late Thursday, knowing I've got to get up on early on thingy.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll see how late I'll probably go pretty late on Friday.
Yeah. I might be up and ready to go in with you. I probably won't, but I might be. And that was The Scratch. Next up is Dirty Honey. It was a big one again. Los Angeles quartet Dirty Honey found success right out of the gate. Their 2019 debut single, When I'm Gone, made history as the first song by an unsigned artist to reach number 1 on Billboard's mainstream rock chart. That summer, they opened for Slash and Guns N' Roses, and their first US headline tour sold out every date. Their self-titled debut album, produced by Nick Didia from Pearl Jam, Bruce Springsteen, well, not from them actually, he probably did all their albums. Loads of albums. It dropped on April 23rd, 2011, debuting at number 2 on the Hard Rock Albums chart. There's more about albums and stuff. You can look that up if you really want to.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty Honey.
I've put a modern take on classic 70s rock. Good.
Cool. I've put sounds like AC/DC with Axl Rose on vocals. Not for me. Cool. That was Dirty Honey. North Lane are next. North Lane's new offering, Obsidian, is their most expansive and dynamic album yet. Self-recorded and self-produced with the help of their longtime collaborator Chris Blancato, and I feel like I've heard that name a lot of times before. The sound North Lane have been working towards over the span of their career has been fully realised on Obsidian, sonically spanning the gamut of their entire discography. North Lane's trademark heavy fuck off. I really need to read anymore. North Lane. What do you think of North Lane?
Electronic driven modern metal. Very good band. Huge sound. Very good. I've never been a North Lane listener, but I've always been right on the cusp of just going, I should probably listen to North Lane properly.
Yeah.
I've always been right there on the precipice.
Yeah. Okay. I probably should have carried on reading that because I've written something about something they say at the bottom. I'll just take off where I stopped. North Lane's trademark heavy comfortably coexists with techno, drum and bass, intriguing synths, perplexing time signatures, and widescreen choruses. It's this fearless evolution that keeps North Lane light years ahead of everyone else in heavy music. I wrote. Not much else needs to be said. They are all of those things, maybe with the exception of being light years ahead of everyone else. I wasn't interested too much at the beginning, but they have grown on me a little bit. And I've heard a lot of people say that they absolutely love this band. They got a lot of fans, but a lot of big fans, a lot of like huge fans. There's a lot of bands that a lot of people like, but they're nobody's favorite band. But it seems like a lot of people really like North Lane.
Yeah, I think their fans are just obsessed. They just love them so much.
Yeah,
I've said it before on the podcast, but Harry is just a huge North Lane fan. Like, he's got all sorts of stuff at his house, signed albums, records, everything.
Yeah.
So I think once you're a North Lane fan, you're a proper North Lane fan.
Yeah. Interesting. I'll probably listen to him some more. And that was North Lane. Starset. Visionary media collective Starset have carved out a unique path as part cinematic rock band, part conceptual storytellers, weaving an intricate narrative through multimedia and redefining the concept of a truly immersive entertainment experience. Led by back on Nintendo, aren't we? Led by enigmatic frontman and PhD candidate Dustin Bates, the band have made a mission to take fans on a journey through music, video, AR integrated performances, a Marvel graphic novel, and online experiences blurring the lines of science, fact, and fiction. And that was their write-up.
I put down American radio rock with orchestral and electronic elements was fine.
Cool. I've written, absolutely huge. Maybe not here. Fairly typical American rock radio band. So no surprise they are as big as they are over there. I think Breaking Benjamin style, it'll be interesting what kind of crowd they get here. Because I have never really, the opposite of North Lane, I've not really heard many people talking about Starset. Obviously they're going to have a lot of fans.
Yeah, but these sorts of fans are the ones that come out the woodwork and you're like, where the hell did all these people come from?
Yeah.
So we'll see. But like you said, we talked about American-ism bands earlier, where bands over there that are absolutely massive and they come over here and they play very, very small shows.
Yeah.
So I don't know where Starset sit in that, but there are bands in America that are a lot bigger than they are that play not very big venues over here. So it'll be interesting to see how packed it is.
Yeah, and I mean that quite literally. It'll be interesting, not I don't think not as in like I don't think they're going to put a big crowd. It will actually be interesting to see what happens and how big the crowd is. Yeah, it will be.
Definitely.
That was Starset. Miles Kennedy is up next. Of course he is. As a prolific songwriter, powerhouse vocalist, and proficient guitar player, Miles Kennedy tunes into the rhythm of his surroundings and goes with the flow. Fronting Alter Bridge, his soaring vocals, open-hearted lyrics, and airtight riffs have fueled the group's global impact as a gold-certified, arena-filling force of nature over 2 decades plus. He's on the microphone for Slash and the Conspirators. His towering range has consistently stunned audiences since 2010, becoming a celebrated collaborator. He's the rare presence. Rare presence? He's not rare presence. He's a quite common presence. He's like...
Maybe in other places, not a download.
Yeah, he's like element cards from Pokemon. Just as comfortable on a track with Disturbed, Hailstorm, and Seven Dust as he is with Government Mule and Daryl DMC McDaniels. I don't know who they are. I don't know what this is going on about. He's big. He does a lot of stuff with a lot of people. What do you think of him?
He's good. I don't really pay much attention to his solo stuff. If I'm honest, I'm not really interested. I do like Alter Bridge, although I do feel like there was a few albums he sort of dropped the ball on. But yeah, obviously Miles Kennedy, great voice, makes good music. He'll probably do his own songs and some covers, and I'm sure fans of Miles Kennedy will absolutely enjoy themselves like they do pretty much every time, because he's very, he's just always very good. Although I can't remember what year he played. I think it was 2022, and I stood to the side of the stage with my brother, and we watched a couple of minutes, and I went, "Yeah, that doesn't sound good."
It was really not interesting, was he?
But that was just that was just us. Yeah, so everyone else seemed to be enjoying themselves. So.
Don't know. I thought I heard a fair few people saying there wasn't that much sort of there wasn't much to his performance. It was just a bit flat and boring.
Well, he's mainly reliant on his voice. I mean, he has an absolutely killer voice, so he doesn't really need to do that much. But yeah, I suppose if you're going to Miles Kennedy for like a fucking performance or show, then don't bother. If you're gonna go and listen to some good music, you're gonna get it.
Yeah. But yes, I think I agree with you. I'm not the biggest Miles Kennedy fan, but there's no denying how popular he is and a great songwriter. Yeah, well, I've actually seen a set written. I've seen him live a few times, and he can be pretty hit or miss, and that's probably because of that. When you were talking about 2022, I wasn't even the biggest Alter Bridge fan really until I was going to say until recently. I'm not really the biggest Alter Bridge fan, but I didn't like any of their stuff until I heard. What's their biggest one? What's the biggest song? Metalingus. I heard that a few times, and I was like, actually, this is a really, really, really good song. It's not like just a good song. It's amazing. I never went to listen to any other other stuff, but yeah, I could listen to it now. I think I listen to it a bit more than I used to be able to. So that was Miles Kennedy, and I think are they? Sub-headlining on the second stage. Sub-headlining on the we're on the Opus, aren't we? Fuck's sake. Sub-headlining Opus, on the Opeth. Let's see, Opeth stage.
Opeth playing the Opus.
Yes. Sub-headlining the Opus stage is Opeth. We got there in the end. More than 3 decades into their career, Opeth have trained their admirers to expect the unexpected. But even by their own standards, the Swedish progressive titans have conjured something extraordinary this time round. The band's 14th studio exploration, The Last Will and Testament, is the darkest and heaviest record they have made in decades. It is also the most fearlessly progressive, a concept album recounting the reading of one recently deceased man's will to an audience of his surviving family members. I'll skip a bit. After 3 decades of dazzling the world, Opeth have made their most daring creative leap yet. The Last Will and Testament is a progressive, and I'm pretty sure they've already said this. Anyway, Opeth, they're big. A lot of people know them. What do you think?
Yeah, I like Opeth. Yeah, it's like Swedish prog metal. Very good, very amazingly talented musicians. I don't like everything they've done. Their albums are very hit and miss for me. Some albums I absolutely love. Some albums I'm a bit on. And a lot of people praised their performance at Bloodstock, but it really didn't thrill me at all, personally. I know a lot of the people I went with were gobsmacked and blown away by it. Thought it was good, but I didn't think it was very interesting, shall I say. Again, they're not a performance band. They're a band that plays really good music. But yeah, I like Opeth. There's a lot of Opeth that I really like. So I don't think I'll be fitting them into my schedule this year.
Yeah.
But still very good, and I can see why they're probably going to pack out that stage, I would say. A lot of Opeth fans.
Yeah. Do you think I'm an Opeth fan?
The music's too clever for you.
Too clever for me. I've never listened to them before.
I think your brain might get bored.
Okay.
Because it's too... I was trying to fucking mug you off and you were just taking it.
Well, you're usually right about these
I was going to go even further with it, but I won't.
Yeah.
I won't.
Yeah, I've never listened to them.
I don't know, because there were a few bands sort of hovering within the same similar genre that you like. So I don't see why you wouldn't like Opeth, especially as they're Swedish.
Yeah.
But you're sort of in and out when it comes to more proggy stuff. So I don't know if this would be within your wheelhouse or not.
Yeah.
Some of their stuff's really almost classical-esque, and then some of it's like really fucking heavy prog metal. So yeah.
Yeah, so I do quite like them. I'll read my write-up for you. What the hell? Why have I never listened to Opeth before? They're all over the place, but in a good way. Progressive, sometimes classical, sometimes heavy as hell. Concept albums? Why? Maybe, and I've said this before, I kind of assume Opeth and OTEP were similar. Because they were next to each other in the CD shops, and I don't think I was interested in OTEP before. But I have no idea why. I just listened to Battle Ready by OTEP, and it's fucking great. So I like both of them. I did like it, and like I had no idea what to expect. I thought they were going to be heavy as hell, a band a little bit too heavy for me, so I never tried them ever. But yeah, they were really good. There's a lot to get into. If I was to really try and get into Opeth, I would be like, how do I start?
Yeah, there's a lot, definitely. But there's a lot of good, like I said, there's a lot of good stuff in there. But it would take you a few months to get through and absorb
Yeah.
all of the albums one by one. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. But I have also said, I think Opeth are in a strange place. I would switch Apocalyptica and Opeth round. Give Opeth the headline on a smaller stage and have Apocalyptica sub for Within Temptation.
Kind of makes sense, actually, yeah. And crazy to think, obviously, I mean, they headlined Bloodstock last year and they're obviously sub-headlining the second stage, so
Yeah.
it's probably about the same size as the entirety of Bloodstock, that second stage, so
Yeah.
makes sense in some ways, but I can understand why, yes, you would put them, because Opeth, Cradle of Filth and Sixth, that seems like a really sort of makes sense 3 headliners of the Dogtooth.
Yeah. And just
So I get what you mean.
Apocalyptica, just don't know the best way to describe it, but it's just like a big sound. It's a big. I mean, Opeth probably are as well, but yeah, I feel like Apocalyptica would sound better on a big open air stage, and you can watch from wherever. Opeth, it feels like it should be more intimate, maybe along those lines.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I would switch those 2 around, but yeah, we're not booking this one. So.
No. Yeah, that was a bit weird. So yeah, that was Opeth, and I haven't looked at clashes or anything. I don't know whether I'll be able to get to go and see them or not. So headlining the Opus stage is Within Temptation, and this is a band we've never really talked about, or any of these kinds of bands. So I'm intrigued. Within Temptation creates modern rock and metal music with energetic, slamming themes, urban-based grooves and pounding beats, all combined with underground and cinematic vibes. In their first years, they have been at the forefront of orchestral and gothic rock / metal. Nowadays, Within Temptation evolved to modern rock and metal with crossovers to many genres like urban, trip, alternative, punk, hip-hop, modern cinematic and action-driven music. What do you think of Within Temptation?
I like him Within Temptation. Symphonic metal, obviously from the Netherlands. Great singer. I used to really have the hots for her back in the day. Loads of good tunes to boot. There are loads of Within Temptation songs that I love, that I especially loved back in the day. If I wasn't watching the headliner, a band that I've needed to tick off for years, I would most likely be watching them.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that will not be happening this year.
Cool.
But yes, I do like them.
Yeah. They've been huge for a long time now. I wasn't really a fan of them when they first came around, but I can listen now. Like I said in the write-up, they were very airy and very symphonic to begin with. And I liked a couple of their songs, but it was just too much for me. As so I think we've talked about it before, Evanescence came around, and then the recording studios or whatever it was, not recording studios, labels went, oh, yeah, they're big. That kind of music's big now. We'll get these other bands, because Nightwish has been going for like 10 years before they.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Within Temptation were probably going even before Evanescence were.
Yeah, and so they pulled Nightwish in, and then it was Within Temptation, and I was just like, okay, this is too much now. They're just trying to cash in on this.
You can't have 3 bands of the same genre.
Well, no, you can. It's just like
No, it's just funny.
Yeah, it just felt
I get what you mean. There were other bands back in the day doing the same thing, but that's what record labels do. You know, like with all the Bring Me clones and all of the Sleep Token clones. When something's working, they go, right, who have we got on the roster that we're not pushing? Oh God, these guys sound like Sleep Token. Quickly, get them all of the airplay, get them everything, put them on shows, get them going.
That is a good point.
So. Yeah,
and I understand that.
I get that totally.
I understand that a bit more now. At the time, sort of early 2000s, I was like, yeah, do you know what? I've had enough of the operatic women singers. No, I don't want any more of it.
Oh, weirdly, I played them to Vicky, and Vicky had never heard them before, and Vicky really likes Evanescence. I like Evanescence as well, and I played Within Temptation to her, and she's like, "This is amazing. Why have we never listened to this band before? This is fantastic." So. Yeah, so it's. I think I might have gathered another fan for Within Temptation as well.
But obviously, also says in the write-up they've changed a lot, and I listened to a few newer songs, and I was like, actually, this is really quite good. The other stuff was really good, but I'd had enough of it. But yeah, I could listen to it a bit more now, I think.
Yeah, definitely, very cool.
And that was the headliners of the Opus stage. So we're opening the Apex stage with Sim. Sim, Silence is Mine, conquered their native country of Japan with a volatile mix of new metal and postmodern hard rock injected with hardcore attitude. The self-described reggae punks from Japan broke into the US rock scene with hard-charging singles, including the #1 smash The Rumbling. With the release of Play Dead via UNFD, it's all about their albums and stuff, and lots of numbers and where they were in charts. That's not what we're interested in. Again, we're interested in what you think.
A band that I really didn't like the last time that we did one of these. Nothing has changed. Their music is all over the place. Their clean vocals are horrendous. I don't go out of my way to dislike bands, but I do not hear any redeeming features of this band. I cannot understand how they've got over 1 million monthly listeners and are playing on the main stage at Download. I just do not get it for 1 second.
Okay, cool. So I was scrolling through a lot of their stuff looking for songs to put on, and it's like they'll have an album and one song will have like 21 million listens, and the rest of the album have got maybe 400,000 or 500,000 each song. So it seems like and they do say it in the write-up a little bit. I don't know if it's more of their songs, but they did an album for Attack on Titan, I think it was, which is an anime. So I thought maybe they like a lot of their songs are used for several different animes and things like that.
Get what you mean, yeah.
So people will hear it from that and go, "Oh, I need to listen to that song again. What this is an amazing song." They'll listen to that one song, but not the rest of the album. It could be that could
makes
be
sense.
What
it could be that makes sense though. But yeah, they didn't sound very good to me. And I'm not a manga guy. I'm not a Japanese show guy. I don't watch One Piece or any. Some of the old school 90s films I absolutely love. But I do not.
Akira.
Yeah, Akira. Yeah. Just Ghost in the Shell, one of my favorites, one of my personal favorites. I don't really fucks with Japanese culture. It's not really my thing at all.
Yeah.
I like the women though. But I don't really embrace any sort of Japanese culture. So I would have absolutely no idea about any of that at all.
I'm the same.
Yeah, could be possible.
I'm just wondering how many people are screaming at their phones at the minute, like all the other films that were out that were probably better than Akira and things like that. I don't know many at all.
Well, there's loads. But if any of that 90s sort of 80s and 90s manga, I will watch all day long because I love it. But I'm only watching the classics. I don't have time to watch. There's like 6,000 One Piece episodes or something, and I don't have time for that. I've got time for maybe a series that has 6 seasons at most. I can't get to anything else. So, but yeah. I know I definitely watched Akira and Samurai Jack, and that was probably about it. Not film, but okay.
Samurai Jack was awesome.
Yeah, that is good.
I have written. I thought it was the production that you hated, but now you've said it that it was the clean. Some of the.
Oh, it's also the production. The production's fucking awful as well.
Yeah. But I also I could actually listen to this a bit. It looks like they have some really massive songs, and then not much interest in the rest of their music, like I've just explained. Yeah, I didn't hate it. I thought it was all right. CKY. Oh, sorry, that was Sim. CKY are up next. Once upon a time, CKY burned it all down with a raucous anarchic. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Anarchic hard rock sound soaked in the skate punk culture that birthed them, and a hard partying lifestyle on stage and off that decimated relationships and reputations in its wake. Now CKY rises from the ashes of the aftermath with The Phoenix, a bold mission statement that hoists the flag for big, raw, authentic, earth-shaking rock and roll liberated from useless pretense. Oh, Jesus.
It's a good album.
There's probably not much else I need to say about them. they're a big band. You'll probably talk about them a little bit.
I will, yes. I am a very, very big CKY fan, along with a very good friend of the podcast, Mr. Chids. So yeah, like hard rock with almost gazy elements, with the singing. A great band with albums worth of bangers, you know, a volatile history, obviously linked to the CKY series, to Band Majera and all that stuff that was huge in the 2000s. Yeah, just an amazing band. I will absolutely do my best to see them if times permit, but I would really, really like to. I mean, obviously, I haven't looked at any times or any Clash Finders or any of that bollocks. I don't do that till way closer to the festival till they release their own times. But yeah, I'd love to fit them in. But yes, I mean, yeah, just Infiltrate, Rebuild, Destroy is one of my favourite albums of all time. So I'd love to hear from some stuff from that live.
Cool.
But they're a lot like Saliva, where there is another version of CKY that the singer started, and then there's this version of CKY.
Is that since he punched the guy from Alien Ant Farm?
Oh no, this is going back 15 years at least. Yeah.
Okay.
So the singer has re-recorded a lot of the songs with his band. So yeah, you could read a lot of history into this band, and there's a lot of inner workings going on, and they came back for albums and it didn't quite work out. Interesting, but hopefully they can pull it off live, which would be absolutely brilliant. But yeah.
Cool. I didn't really have a lot to say on them. I've obviously heard the 96 something or other's song that everyone knows. 96 Quite Better Beings. Yeah.
You've probably heard way more songs than that. Yeah. You'll probably hear someone be like, "Oh, I know that song. I know that song." They're one of those bands.
But yeah, I was never the biggest fan. I put from what I heard, maybe it was just a new sound that they've gone for. But it says they're like pop punk, skatery kind of band. I would actually put them more in a bluesy genre. With
definitely, yeah, they're like bluesy rock with a little bit of metal.
Yeah,
yeah, cool. Very bluesy, very fuzz driven sort of guitars, a lot of low end. Yeah, great. Yeah. What a fantastic sound.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it wasn't a bad sound. That was CKY. Next up is Boston Manor. They don't really have much to write up. An alternative band from Blackpool, UK, FY1 Forever. That's all they say.
Okay. Yeah, Boston Manor, alternative band. They've been linked with Download loads of times, played loads of stuff. I think they played the pilot, played 2022. I think they played even before that. I think they even played way back in 2018 on one of the small stages. So fair play to them. Yeah, they're a good alternative band, just not for me, not my kind of stuff really, but respect to them, definitely. They're climbing their way up the stages every time, and that's what these festivals are designed for. So yeah, fair play to them.
Cool. I have written quite a bit actually. Well, I didn't write it this time. I just ripped it off of my YouTube script. Boston Manor is a place in London. This isn't what the band based their name on. However, they also kind of did. And yeah, do you know what? I was so busy doing that and laughing at myself because I thought it'd be funny. I didn't write anything in review. I remember though. I remember I didn't. It is not my kind of music at all. But I was listening to them quite a lot while writing all of this stuff for the YouTube video I did, and some of the songs started growing on me a little bit. But I'm still not the biggest fan. I think it's because I don't know how to describe it, but he does a lot of like singing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of bands that do that.
I know what you mean.
They're close to indie bands, I would say, and yeah, they feel like they have to make a weird sound with their voice when they're singing. They go,
well, the real movement was 90s grunge.
Okay,
because they were all bands, weren't they?
It was like, me on my own. It's like, you don't need to do that. Sing properly. Sing properly. And I think as soon as I hear vocals that are like that, it puts me off.
Puts you off.
Yeah. I hope you people listening know what I'm talking about as well.
I'm sure they do.
Best I could describe.
I know what you're talking about.
Good. So. Good. Yeah, they sort of pull their Adam's apple up a bit and have to sing with a weird voice because they think they. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yes, Boston Manor. That was. Next up, Rise Against. Probably don't really need to read too much of this either, but I will start reading some of it. If ever there was a perfect time for a new album from the outspoken, socially conscious, multi-gold and platinum punk rock band Rise Against, it's right now. Nowhere Generation, due out June the 4th on Lorna Vista Recordings, is blazing and aggressive, fusing old school punk attitude with post-hardcore fury. Let's talk about the album. You can listen to it when it's out. If it's not out already, some of these are years old, these write-ups we found over the
really
years.
Old. Yeah,
so
some of them are really old. Well, that CKY one, that's from 2017, that album.
Is it?
So that just shows you you how old some of these bios are and how long these bands just haven't changed them for.
Yeah, Rise Against, they're a huge band. They're, in fact, holy shit, Rise Against are massive. That's what I wrote.
They are. Rise Against, heavy pop punk / punk. I don't really know where to place them.
I wouldn't have known. Good, I'm glad.
Very good band. They've got songs that I've heard for years and years and years, but it's just not my thing.
Okay.
I've never listened to them properly or delved in or anything. It's just I've heard it and been like, oh yeah, I know that song. It's a really good song.
Yeah,
that's as far as my journey goes with Rise
That is
Against.
not where I thought you were going with that. I thought you were going to say I've been hearing their songs for years, and it's a band that I just cannot get bored of. You hearing it?
Oh, is that the way that I put it?
That's where
that was not what I was thinking.
I've said before, I didn't know Rise Against were as big as they are. I thought they did one good song 20 years ago and then fell off a little bit. So I'm well out of touch with Rise Against, which is ridiculous because they're massive. They've got like almost 8 million monthly listeners on Spotify. But looking down through the tracks as well, a lot of their songs are huge. A lot of their songs have got like millions millions of streams. It's not like Sim
definitely.
where like one or two have loads, and it's the same for Jimmy Eat World as well. I'll talk about them in the same way in a minute.
Massive
I could
band.
never get into them particularly either. I could if I listened more. I reckon I probably could. It's just I've never been interested in putting them on in the first place. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, not for me. Good band. I'm sure a lot of people like this next run of bands makes perfect sense.
And at an indie festival,
obviously tailored towards it, but yeah, not for me.
No, me either. So that was Rise Against. Next up is Jimmy Eat World. I probably don't need to read any of these. Emerging as a trailblazing name in the mid-90s emo scene. I'm not going to read that. Jimmy Eat World are the band that did, oh, for fuck's sake, The Middle. Jimmy Eat World are the band that did The Middle, if you didn't know. That's all I need to say, I think.
Jimmy Eat World, I put pop punk. You're going to delve out the window. Fine, I guess. Previously live almost bored me to tears.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. But again, it's not really. I wouldn't say it's not my. Psst, this cat. I would say it's not my thing, but that would be telling a lie because there are a lot of bands in the same sort of genre that I absolutely love. Jimmy Eat World, I always just found a bit. They didn't really fit in with what I wanted out of that genre of music. Yeah. So, not for me. And I certainly will not be watching them live.
Okay. No, again. Okay. I've just written, holy shit, Jimmy Eat World are bigger. But the same as, I've pretty much the same as Rise Against. I've never been interested in putting any of their albums on. It wasn't the kind of sound I enjoyed back when they're still massive, but back when I first heard about them and first got into them, I was like, yeah, the Middle is a good song. Not for me though. The band as a whole, wasn't interested in finding out albums and listening to any of them.
It's fair.
Like I said, the same with these though. Like, it's not just The Middle. It would as a noob, as an idiot who doesn't read into music or what's going on, or I didn't for many years anyway. I probably would have thought, yeah, The Middle was their only good song, and they didn't really do much else, and nobody cared about them after that. But we spoke a little bit before the show, and I kind of thought the same about Weezer as well. But Weezer are huge, even bigger than Jimmy Eat World. So I don't know. We need a new host, I think.
We just need someone that pays attention. That's what it is.
I don't. Maybe
if you start paying attention, you'll be fine.
maybe that's why people like this, or one of the reasons why people like it.
But you do pay attention now. These are hangovers from back in the day.
Yeah.
This is when you were being a stay at the tent kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not that guy anymore.
No, that's true.
You're a host of a podcast now. You've got different duties. You've got
different duties.
You've got a different outlook on life.
But yeah, I was thinking a little while back, maybe that's one of the reasons why people do enjoy listening to this, because we don't pretend to know everything. I expect there's a lot of other people who, if they don't know about a band that they need to talk about, they'll go and study it for hours so they can talk about it as if they've known about it for years. We are just the same as everybody else listening.
Well, slightly better.
Slightly better. Anyway, Jimmy Eat World, or previously known as Jimmy Eat Boring,
Jimmy Eat
coined
Boring.
by Simon, are third down on that stage, I think. Is it sub-headlining, aren't they, Weezer? Yep.
Weezer are
sub-headlining on the Apex stage on the Friday at Download 2025 is Weezer. And their write-up just says, just keeping it Wheezy. That's all. That is it. And fuck me, Weezer are bigger. That's all I wrote. For almost 15 million monthly listeners, Weezer.
Yeah, huge
band. The
Massive
band that I thought Hashpipe was their only song that they ever did. And they just faded into obscurity.
I don't know how you missed that, because like every single year they had a different song on Kerrang and Scuzz.
It was always Hashpipe.
Whatever.
It was just Hashpipe over and over again for decades.
No, I don't know what you. I think you were just had a Weezer filter on or
Maybe.
something. I don't know what was going on with you, but yeah. They're like Weezer. They're a bit of everything. They're a bit of rock, bit of grunge on the early albums, bit of pop punk, bit of pop. They literally dip their finger in all the pies to see what happens.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, great band, loads of bangers. I'm actually really looking forward to watching them. They're a band that's been on my list for ages to see. I have absolutely no idea what they're going to be like live, but I'm excited to watch them, and that will get me really vibed, ready for the day's headliners. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Weezer, and they've got loads of bangers. And if you were to go through their songs, I think you would probably agree that you've heard more of their songs than your brain has thought that you.
Yeah, you're right. I have. I think
Yeah.
might have been the biggest song was the Islands, something about Islands.
Island in the Sun,
And yeah, I've definitely heard that before. I didn't realise
Yeah,
it
of
was
course.
Weezer, or maybe I did. But yeah, I just wasn't interested in it at the time. And you're right. There probably are loads more that I've heard, but and again, I think. Hang on, going back. Jimmy. Well, the middle definitely had over 1 billion streams. I can't remember if Rise Against had one that was over 1 billion. Weezer had probably 2 or 3 songs that were over 1 billion streams, which is amazing.
100%.
I've never seen. I've probably never seen that before, or never noticed it. But all 3 of these bands are. Well, sorry, no, it was Green Day I was thinking of after. Had some absolutely massive songs. I'll talk a bit more about that with Green Day actually. But yeah, I can't believe they're bigger. I can't believe I didn't notice them and how big they were. But we were talking a little bit before we started recording, and they're just pissing about. They're doing whatever the hell they want to do now. Like they've got albums that are just colours. The black album, the white album, the orange album, and they're just like, we'll stick an album out. It doesn't really matter what it's called because we're huge. Everyone loves us. We just call it anything. The orange album, and then there's another one. There's 4. The cover is the same, but it's the 4 seasons
every time. Yeah.
Which it's just incredible that they can do that and get away with it. It doesn't really matter what they do. They got fans.
No, I like it. Yeah, it's very good.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Weezer. Really looking forward to them.
I don't know if I'll watch them. I might do if I'm around. See what all the big fuss is about, eh?
Yeah.
That was Weezer. And headlining on the Friday at Download 2025 is Green Day. And their write-up just says God's favourite band. That's it. And they've got 31.5 million monthly listeners. Ridiculous. They are actually number 141 in the world on Spotify.
Yeah, huge band. I don't think that can be. We can talk about that enough about how absolutely massive, how much influence they've had. I mean, if you don't know, we have actually done a whole episode about Green Day. So if you go back, I can't remember what episode whereabouts it is in the timeline, but this year,
yeah, it was just only a few episodes ago.
We did.
You have to scroll
so this
very
year
far.
with Stu as well, we done a whole episode about Green Day. So if you want a deep dive on that and all of the other headliners, just go back through the episodes and you will see the one we done for this year for Green Day, because we don't really want to talk too much about them, as we talked about them for about 2 hours. So yeah, but very interesting. They've always been a bucket list band for me. Sorry, my voice is fucking up. Bucket list band for me. Always been on my list to see. I am super excited. I like a hell of a lot of Green Day songs, and yeah, buzzing for it. It'll be a perfect way, I think, to end the Friday, and everyone at Download can finally tick Green Day off of their lists.
Yeah.
So, we're done.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, like you said, we talked about them loads anyway. I'm not the biggest Green Day fan, and I've also said on here before, I'm not the biggest fan of going to see a band just to tick them off a bucket list and say I've seen them, because that's not really, I don't find that interesting. Or go and say, I just want to hear this one song by this band because I like that one song, and it's like that's not for me. But Green Day's different. I will definitely be going to watch Green Day, probably because they're headliners and how big they are. There are quite a few songs that I do like. Any other band, I would probably go, yeah, I like their songs, but not enough to want to go and watch them. But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be watching Green Day just to see how good they are, because yeah, they are good. I really dislike, I've probably said it before, I really disliked the American Idiot album because it was everywhere. You couldn't get away from it. But now I don't have any problems with it anymore. We made up our, we shook and made up on it. Made up.
Good. After all this time, what a lovely story.
Differences.
What a lovely art.
Anyway, yeah. See, if you like friendship story arcs like that, come and listen to me DM in D&D. No, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't like that album. I disliked it. But it's part of their history now. It's part of them. It's part of, everything they do. So I'll probably hear those songs and I'll quite enjoy them. Watching them live. That's very rambly.
So, yeah, across the day, there's 7 bands that I want to see. I will probably get to see 5, maybe 6 of those. But 7 solid, I really want to see bands on the Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very happy with this Friday overall. Very, very happy.
Yeah, me too. I never actually went through and actually counted them, but it's probably about the same. Yeah, about 7 as you. About the same as you, 7, because we've said pretty much the same thing on most of the bands. So
yeah, it's quite a lot of. We're going to be watching definitely earlier in the day. Anyway, we're definitely going to be watching the same bands, so that'll be cool.
And before listening to all of these, there weren't any I was interested in, really, apart from Green Day. Yeah, Green Day was always going to be one, but yeah, I was like, there's no bands here playing that I want to watch. But now listening to them all,
actually, there it is. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. That's why I love doing these episodes and actually listen to them really, really like thoroughly and properly. Definitely, yeah, really enjoy it. Okay, that is everything for the Friday at Download. We're going to start wrapping the episode up. There's a few things we need to do before we go. The first thing is to say a massive thank you to our legendary Patreons. We do actually have a new Patreon, who is Ash Henson. Thank you for joining the Courtyard stage. Ash is massively appreciated. We really appreciate you. And as we said, every penny we get goes back into the podcast, back into merch and things like that. We can do some really cool things with what we get. So we wouldn't be where we are without you Patreons. So thank you so much. And this is where I read the rest of the Patreons out. So a huge thank you to Ash Henson, Joe Butler, Marty Ellis, Mike Ferris, Andy T2, Liam Hopwood, Tom West, Vicky Rutter, Ethan Brown, Matthew, Chris Henderson, Scoot, Ben Sacconi, Johnny Bravo, Chris Hambridge, Sean Schofield, H from Steps for Download, and James. You are all huge legends, and we can't wait to see you at Download this year. As well as you, Simon. I think you're a massive legend too. Do you want to tell people where they can find you? What was that?
Yes, you can find me. You can obviously find me on. I do that to the boy all the time. He loves it. Whenever I need to make him laugh, I just go.
Recording video for this as well, by the way.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun for everyone to see my horrific rubber face. Yes, I am doing loads of stuff on YouTube. A new video will be out by this point, which will be my quarterly catch-up video. And also my Bristol? No, that's the wrong place. My Cheltenham vlog should be coming out at some point as well. So yeah, so loads to look forward to over there. And obviously still continuing to do stuff with the band as well. And I just want to say, yeah, thanks to everyone, obviously, for all the support for us, because this is the time when we get really, really busy. And I know how much you guys listen and engage on Discord and all that stuff. So thank you very much. It's always appreciated.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and on that note, we have had quite a few new people on Discord, which is awesome to see. We have had quite a lot of comments on Spotify as well recently, which you have been able to do for a while, but it's just blown up, I think. A lot of people are commenting on Spotify, which is awesome. Keep doing all of that stuff. Yeah, it's great to see so many new people engaging with us and joining the Discord. You can find all the links and everything you would ever need in the episode description box, wherever you're listening to this podcast. And as you just reminded me as well, actually, there's something I forgot to say earlier. So I mentioned about the YouTube thing I want to do, the D&D YouTube campaign that I want to do, and it is open to beginners as well. I'm going to be learning how to DM. A couple of the other guys are going to be learning how to play. And what I've actually been listening to a D&D podcast recently, and it's really got me hyped for it. And it's called Not Another D&D Podcast. There's probably a lot of people out there who've listened to it already. I've never listened to a Let's Play before, and I'm like 20 episodes in. A couple episodes ago, like a few things happened that just gave me shivers. It just made me really sort of.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, no. What's
I thought you went, oh god, sort of thing.
No, it's like watching. It's like watching a movie, but in there's loads of films that I have that reaction.
Okay.
To.
Yeah. Cool.
You're just a
nerd. Yep. It was emotional. It really was. It made me shiver and go tingly. It's like awesome things happening. And today I was actually kind of fighting tears back a little bit. And I'm only 20.
That's cool.
I'm only 20 episodes into a 100 episode campaign. So I'm going to be crying walking around delivering people's mail. Hopefully it's raining on the days that I'm crying, so it'll just sort of blend in. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, if you want to learn, if you're interested and you want to learn, I highly recommend listening to it. They start from the beginning. There's somebody new in that campaign as well, so they're kind of explaining things as they go along as well. So I was listening to it to sort of give to the other people already joined, to say, like, listening as in if it was them and how much they could learn from it, and I think it's a really good podcast to learn from. So yeah, if you're interested, but you're not too sure, give that a listen, and if that convinces you, send me an email, or send an email to the podcast, and we will chat. But yes, so that's it from us for this episode. So it's a goodbye from Simon.
Goodbye.
Join us next week, next episode, for the Saturday bands. I forgot to say that. And a goodbye from me. Goodbye. Oh, I'm an idiot.
I like it.